嗨，大家好，我们继续学习课本，标准教程 HSK6 下册。我们学完这批词汇好不好？我可以这样说，我们将学完这批词汇。Yeah, I'm suggesting we finish studying this batch of words. I think I need to put a 将 in there, right? 我们将学完这批词汇。I'm not 100% sure on that. That's an interesting question. Anyway, let's not get too distracted. 32, 第32课，第113页，够不着，我的摄像头够不着。词汇，忌讳，忌讳。忌讳 is a really interesting word. Yeah, obviously it's not 机会, it's 忌讳. So first of all, you need to be a bit careful with your tones on this word. 忌讳. Now, if you're like me and you have a teacher that tries to explain what a word means, or at least in the past, you had teachers that tried to explain what a word means by telling you what it means in English. They may have said 忌讳 means taboo. And you think, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And then you realize, wait a minute, it's a verb. Yeah. That's kind of one of the meanings. It's a verb. 忌讳. It's also a noun, meaning taboo. 忌讳, 犯忌讳. So to violate a taboo or something? Yeah, to do something that's considered taboo, right? It's not illegal. It's not... it's just by custom you don't do it. So there's certain taboos like talking about the dead. So my understanding is Australian Aboriginal culture, you're not allowed to show pictures of the deceased. Is that correct? Let's ask ChatGPT. If I remember correctly, in Australian Aboriginal culture, you're not, it's taboo to show photos of deceased people. Is this correct? I'm not 100% sure. This is something I heard. Maybe. Is ChatGPT awake? Something I heard, so better get confirmation. ChatGPT. Regenerate. 是的，你记得是正确的。在许多澳大利亚原住民文化中 yeah, so it's not just like there's one group of Aboriginals, Australian Aboriginals that represent everyone. It's like a very diverse culture, very diverse cultures as well. 展示已故者 So this is a way of saying the deceased. Is it 已故者的照片或提及其名字是被视为不恰当。这一禁忌 Yeah, so we're studying 忌讳, right? 忌讳 meaning taboo and or to avoid as taboo, a verb. But this is 禁忌, which is kind of similar, isn't it? It's both a noun and a verb. 禁忌. 禁 meaning forbidden. It's fourth tone, forbidden. There's also 禁, 不禁的禁. That's another one again. 这一禁忌主要源于对死者灵魂的尊重和保护以及对生者情感的关怀。Yeah, so my understanding is this is considered taboo in Australia. So if you're a journalist and you want to report about someone, some Aboriginal doing something, or at least you need to be careful when you're showing pictures. Yeah, right. Make sure you don't show anyone who's deceased. Seems like you should also be careful not to mention their names. OK， 背景、文化和宗教信仰。在澳大利亚原住民文化中，死者的灵魂被认为需要尊重和保护。Okay, so this is like the souls of the deceased. Need to be respected and preserved. 提及提名 is this like a fixed phrase maybe? 提及 is mentioning 其 is this kind of universal pronoun that works for everything. 其名字 so to mention their names 或展示其照片可能会打扰他们的安宁。Okay, so you disturb them in the afterlife. 一些部落相信部落 would be a tribe, right? A few tribes, yeah, a tribe. 相信提及死者的名字会使他们在灵魂不安，甚至可能会对生者产生负面影响。Oh, okay, so it's not just you're disturbing the dead. It can lead to the survivors having negative consequences. Yeah, kind of a taboo, right? So this is an example of a 机会, right? 机会, so 机会关于机会的解释 yeah, ChatGPT kind of anticipates the question I'm going to ask before I even ask it. 机会是指在某些文化、宗教和社会背景下被认为会带来不幸 so misfortune 不幸厄运 bad luck 或不是 is inappropriateness or something like that. Yeah, this is like this unspecific unwellness, right? Yeah. 厄运 bad luck 行为和言语不同文化有不同的机会。以下是几个常见的例子。OK， 宗教信仰，在某些宗教中提及特定的神明或灵魂的名字是被忌讳的。Maybe this is like he who must not be named. 一些宗教信徒避免在特定的时间或地点进行某些活动，以避免冒犯灵魂和祖先。Alright, 或祖先。文化习俗 yeah, cultural things. So my understanding is like if you have a teapot at a table, you have the spout of the teapot, and you should not point the spout of a teapot towards someone because there's steam coming out of it and can kind of get in their face and so on. So you might avoid that as 机会. All right, so 在哈利波特小说里提及how do you say he who must not be named? 不得提及其名字的人，是 Okay, I should use 无视机会. I want to use it as a verb. 机会. Is this sentence correct? So in the Harry Potter novels, wizards, 机会, we don't have this word in English, to avoid as to abstain from mentioning, oh no, I should say he who should not be name's name. 不是机会提起那个人的名字. Oh, okay, that works. 那个人. Okay, 在哈利波特小说里提到伏地魔. Oh! 就是 ChatGPT 犯机会，对吗？伏地魔 is Voldemort. Oh, I did it too. 犯机会的名字是一种机会。许多巫师宁愿称他为那个人和黑魔王。All right. Can you give me 5 examples of 机会 used as a noun and as a verb? Yeah, this is one of the things ChatGPT can do that you can't just do on like Pleco or a database or something. Like ChatGPT will give you usages as a noun, as a verb. So what do we got here? 在中国送钟, yeah, sending a clock. Even if they really, really want a clock. 送钟, it's bad luck, right? 送钟, 送钟表作为礼物是一种机会. Yeah, that's a noun. 一种机会是一种机会。因为送钟与送钟谐音. I didn't know that. 送钟. Okay, to handle funeral affairs. Yeah. Is this like 四 and 死 kind of 谐音? Is it 谐音? Homophones? Similar. Maybe you can say 静音. I don't know if you can say that. 在日本筷子插在米饭中是一种机会，因为这种葬礼上与葬礼上的祭品相似，祭品 right offering。在许多文化中，13这个数字被认为是不吉利的机会。Yeah, yeah. If you go to China and check out the elevators. Sometimes they don't have level 4. Sometimes they don't have level 14. Sometimes they also don't have level 13. Sometimes when I take Chinese airlines, I feel like they deliberately put me in like seat 44 or something like this. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't care. 我没有那个迷信. Yeah. Maybe Chinese people will be like, 44? No, I'm not sitting there. And I'm like, I don't care. 在一些社区里，讨论死亡和疾病是一种社会机会。Okay, societal, we say, is that a common phrase? Societal taboo? Maybe. So talking about the dead is taboo. 在某些宗教中，吃猪肉被视为一种严格的忌讳。Yeah, 在伊斯兰教和犹太教 right? Are there others? I can't think of any others. Just Islam and Judaism. 作为动词例子 OK, 日常生活，他在晚饭时间 Can you say that? 晚饭时间 Dinner time. It feels like it's translated. I'm just... Can you say that? 就晚饭，吃晚饭的时候，晚饭时间 Maybe you can say this. It feels translated to me. But maybe it's legitimate. It just has a bit of translation-ese going on there. 他在晚饭时间忌讳讨论任何不愉快的话题。Yeah, or politics in particular. Yeah, there's a lot of families that have flat rules. You do not talk about politics and you do not use your mobile phone while you're eating dinner. With good reason. 他非常忌讳在公共场合被人提及他的私人生活。Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. Certain countries are more uptight about keeping their personal information private. 在这个家庭里，他们忌讳讨论任何有关政治的话题。Yeah, absolutely, I can understand that. Yeah. Talk to me about science. I like science. 很多传统家庭忌讳在婚礼前夜见到新娘。Yeah, see the bride before the wedding. Yeah, that's kind of normal. Of course, it's tricky. 他忌讳穿黑色的衣服参加婚礼，因为这被认为是不吉利的。Wearing black to a wedding, is it? I don't know. Chinese weddings are different, right? In Chinese weddings, you don't want to dress up too well. That's kind of the bride's job, right? So you want to kind of wear just average clothes and like the bride is meant to be the centerpiece. That's my understanding. So are these all verbs? 忌讳，他忌讳穿黑色的衣服。So like doing that, those at the same time. Verb. 忌讳在婚礼前夜 blah, blah, verb. Yeah, definitely a verb. Verb. Yeah. 忌讳 verb. Yeah, if you've encountered 忌讳 before, yeah, you might not realize it's often used as a verb, at least as often as it's used as a noun. And what synonyms does 忌讳 have? Okay, 忌讳有几个同义词 blah blah blah. 同义词避忌 is that right? No, 避讳 to avoid is taboo. So maybe 忌讳 has 避讳 as one of its meanings. 避讳 is a verb and not a noun, right? 避讳避免提及或触及某些敏感话题或词语。Okay, so the scope of this word appears narrower than 忌讳。在那个家庭里，大家都避讳谈论父亲的过失。All right, so this could be the same in any country, I think. 避忌, so this is the same thing. To avoid is taboo. To avoid is taboo. 避忌, 禁忌, 禁句. No, 禁句 is different. 忌避, I don't think that's a word. Maybe it is. 避讳. Is it really a word? Maybe it is. 禁句, that's not relevant. All right. So I want to talk about the scope of this. Actually, before we do that, I want to talk about the scope. Can you compare the scope of 忌讳 with the scope of taboo? Are there things that are 忌讳 but not taboo, and vice versa? Well, I should say, or vice versa. And vice versa with respect to the question. I want to ask the question in the other way around as well. Oh, getting a little hot. 的 air conditioner， 开空调。好，范围比较here 文化背景主要在华人文化和其他亚洲文化中使用的。Alright, so yeah. 在中国文化中，宋钟表alright, but what I mean is, 宋钟 would be considered a taboo. It would be considered a Chinese taboo. What I mean is, what I mean is, how do I explain this? I'm after concepts which are considered 忌讳 but not taboo, or the other way around. Are there any like, do they label the same concepts? Like, so like, do they refer to the same concepts? Yeah, maybe they're the same. Maybe if something is a taboo in English, it is a 忌讳 in Chinese. I'm not sure. There might be counterexamples. All right. No, it's the same thing. No, I mean, if something is 忌讳 in Chinese, is it necessarily a taboo in English? You said that last time. 了解了. You said that last time. 但不一定是 taboo 的概念. Okay, here we go. 宋钟 no. 宋钟 okay, 反击依然 all right. ChatGPT can't figure it out. There's your question. Are there things in Chinese that are 忌讳, that are not taboo in English? And are there things that are taboos in English that are not 忌讳 in Chinese? Like, yeah, do the words refer to the same things? When this is as a noun, right? All right. 下一个外界 yeah, the outside world 外界 as opposed to 内界 right? Your inner world. All right, so 界 is used as a suffix for a lot of things, meaning world, like the academic world. 学术界 I mean, yeah, this sort of thing, academic circles. So there's many others, like academia is one of them. You could say biological circles or this. It refers to like the scope of maybe a community, this sort of thing. The external world, depending on context. So you have your internal world, which is your thoughts and feelings and so on. And then there's the external world, which is made up of physical matter and forces and things like that. 外界 Yeah, OK. 某一范围以外的区域，外部社会 OK. 与外界很少接触 So it has very little contact with the outside world. So this outside world, this could be like, do you know the story behind Andrew Wiles proving, well, I'll say Fermat's last theorem, because he did prove that, or at least he proved the last. I'll just say he proved it. Of course, there was many other people contributing before him too. Okay. What he did was kind of shut himself in his room for an extended period of time. That's my understanding, and had little contact with the outside world. So that's the kind of idea. So maybe, yeah, a mathematician determined to prove something. Actually, maybe that is kind of fictionalized a little bit, that story about Andrew Wiles. I'm not sure. But just imagine a mathematician deciding, I'm going to prove Fermat's last theorem, something that has eluded basically all mathematicians, including the world's top mathematicians. And Andrew Wiles is like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Locks himself in his room, and yeah, he has very little contact with like humans. Like, yeah, I could really do this. Yeah, in Chinese. What is it? It's 不卷, right? 不卷, don't enter the rat race kind of thing, or 不卷. It's like a lot of people just go in their rooms and they don't go out very much. Maybe they're like playing games or something like this. Okay. 外界反响强烈 反响强烈 So 反响 will be reverberation 强烈 So I'm not 100% sure what this implies, but so maybe there's some kind of internal strife or something, and it not only affected inside, but it affects outside. Yeah, 反响. Is it reverberation? Yeah. Echoes? I'd need more context. 外界干扰 or 干预 would work as well. 干扰, interference. So yeah, you see this in politics a lot. China especially likes to say that yeah, people shouldn't interfere in like other independent countries' politics. So that would be an example of 外界干扰. Okay, 与外界隔绝 隔绝. This would be like to isolate yourself from the outside world. Perhaps you have a medical condition. Perhaps you just don't like talking to people, which is fair enough. I'm relatively introverted. 一个闭目塞后 No. 闭目塞听 right? 闭目塞听 塞听 闭目塞听 Okay, so shut your eyes and clog your ears. Cut oneself off from reality. All right, I kind of like this one. Actually, I'm going to jot it down. 闭目塞听. I just put in my notes words that I think maybe I'll use one day. 闭目塞听. Yeah, it's a little bit inconsistent, isn't it? Because 目 is a noun referring to your eyes, whereas 听 is not a noun referring to your ears. It's your 听觉习惯, 听觉习惯, 对吗? Your ears are 耳朵, right? Why is it not 耳? Anyway, sometimes this is why people tell me I think too much. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of people saying you think too much. It's like I carefully try to understand things to make sure it's correct, right? I mean, I prefer to be, I don't know, correct, especially when preparing for an exam. Anyway, getting off topic. 同客观外界根本绝缘的人，是无所谓认识的。So this 同 means 跟 right or 和 it's used in conjunction with this. So with fundamentally 绝 can mean refuse, right? 缘 I don't understand why 缘 is in there, but okay. 绝缘 cut ties, insulated. So this is someone with no contact with the outside world. Yeah. All right, so we have, usually it's a person, I think. It doesn't necessarily need to be a person, though, does it? It could be an animal which has no contact with other animals, maybe of its species. Yeah, chimpanzees may have been trained to raised like a human. There was one, right? Maybe like 100 or 150 years ago, if I remember correctly. This kind of wacky scientist, like father and mother, raised a chimpanzee alongside their actual baby. Yeah. They just thought, oh, okay, we'll just raise it to be as if it was human and taught it everything. But there were like biological differences and didn't work. Okay, next is 狭隘. This is 狭隘. This is 狭隘, not E, by the way. It kind of looks like E. So people will often pronounce it wrong, but it's 狭隘. 狭隘. So 狭隘 means narrow. There's also, yeah, 狭窄. 狭窄 is probably better for things like corridors and other things which are kind of like narrow, long and thin, and you're kind of inside them, right? 狭窄. 狭隘 is often used for worldviews. Things like that. You have a narrow focus, this kind of thing. Let's see what we got. 狭隘. 窄小. Okay, 走廊, 狭隘. Oh, okay, so you can use 狭隘 as well for 走廊. I'm more used to this one. 思想、心胸等不宽广，有局限. Yeah, so this is your thoughts or your 心胸. So 心胸 would be like your heart and bosom. However, it's obviously used figuratively. Breadth of mind. All right. So this is like narrow-minded kind of thing. 观念狭隘. Yeah, so your 观念, your concepts are narrow. Maybe that's not the best translation. It's not concept in the sense of that is a concept. It is your conception of things. Maybe. Okay, 狭隘的民族主义者. What does that mean? I don't know. 民族主义, 民族主义者. Nationalism. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Yeah, usually of mind viewpoints. Okay. 狭隘的山道. Okay, so you can use this for physical things, but I think most of the time it is that a word? Parochial? I think I've heard it. Parochial? Not familiar with that word. 走出狭隘的家族小圈子. 家族 is like a clan. It'll be a clan, yeah, a family clan, right? A clan made from family. and you're stepping out of the 狭隘的家族小圈子. So this is figuratively, right? 小圈子. This 圈子 kind of means scope. So I guess you 走进外界, right? So you maybe you grew up thinking your family was everything, or your family clan was everything, and then you discover, oh, there's an external world. 此人眼界太狭隘. Yeah, 此人 is okay. 此 here just means this, right? So 此 mean this in the sense that you're currently talking about a certain person. Maybe in the previous sentence you mentioned this person's name, and here you use 此人. So that would be the context in which this arises, but this is just an example sentence, so you don't have the previous sentence. 此人眼界. Okay, 眼 meaning eyes, right? So 界 here, we talked about this with like academic circles. It's the scope of academia. Here it's the scope of things in your vision, right? It looks, it's the things you can see, meaning your kind of worldview outlook. Yeah, field of vision, but usually field of vision is 视野. The literal one. Field of vision in a non-literal sense, in a figurative sense. 狭隘. All right. So 狭隘 is an adjective. It can describe physical mountains and mountain passes and corridors and things like that. But it usually talks about like narrow-mindedness. Yeah, 她的观点非常狭隘. Okay, so her point of view. So when we saw 观念, maybe 观念 or whatever we saw before. Yeah, 观念. Maybe that's in the sense of 观点. So it's your point of view is narrow. So you wouldn't say that in English. Your point of view. You would say your point of view, I don't know. That person has a narrow worldview. But would you say that their point of view is narrow? I wouldn't say that. Your viewpoint is too narrow. Yeah, I could say that. Your viewpoint. 看法很狭隘. 他的观点, yeah. So most of the time it's used to criticize someone's, they haven't taken in all the evidence, they only consider one point of view kind of thing, this sort of thing. And there's a famous 成语. Do you know what the 成语 is? What 成语 am I thinking in relation to narrow worldviews? There's a very famous 成语which you need to know. Actually, there's two of them, but they mean the same thing. They're just variants. 井底之蛙. This one. 井 is a well. So there's water at the bottom of the well. 底 is the bottom. So 井底, bottom of the well. The ji is equivalent to de, right? And 蛙 is a frog. 青蛙. So you're a frog at the bottom of a well. You're looking up at the sky and it's like there's this little bit of sky up there. That's your worldview. Yeah, this is quite important, isn't it? To have like a wide worldview, collect all the evidence. There's a, sorry. Oh, it's the air conditioning. I'll turn the air conditioning off. Do you know the Simpsons paradox? Whoops. What about that? Simpsons paradox? It's a statistical paradox, and I find it really interesting because the 统计学的是悖论，对吗？ If I remember correctly. 悖论 paradox. And it's what happens if you don't have enough data. Here's a good plot. You can go read the Wikipedia page, but or maybe we will read the Wikipedia page. What's going on? Is this my internet? here. Yeah, that's a good plot. So you have in this plot you have 8 data points, right? So does the trend go up or does it go down? If you only have those 4 data points, the 4 blue data points, the trend goes up. If you only have these 4 data points, the trend goes up. But if you have all 8 data points, the trend goes down. And this is why you get a statistician on your team when you do research, because stuff like this happens. And this actually happened, it happened in the university, right? I forget which university, and there was data, actually, it's the canonical example. This one, yeah. So they had, there was evidence that, yeah, they had these 4 data points, was it? 3 data points. Just not enough data points, and they inferred that, there was a, it was sexist against women, but when you considered them separately, if I remember correctly, maybe there's more data here. But when you consider them jointly, it was actually sexist against men, and it's like, okay, you need to do your statistics properly. So maybe that's an example of what is it? 井底之蛙. And where's the variant? It's the 井蛙观天, something like that. Let's ask ChatGPT. That'll be the fastest way. How else can you say 井底之蛙? 井底之蛙. Didn't put it go in automatically. 井底等一下底之蛙. No, 我拼错了。青蛙，这个蛙。There's a few equivalent ones to this. This one, 坐井观天, 坐井观天. So sit in a well, and 观 meaning observe here, and observe the sky. 目光短浅. All right, but that's not the same idea. That's the one I was thinking of. So if you have a 狭隘的世界观，人们可以说你坐井观天。Okay, so if some, maybe I should construct a sentence. So can I say, 如果一个人有狭隘的世界观，那么他就像如果一个人，那么我可以说我们可以说他好像坐井观天。That's not in my dictionary as well. 坐井my input method. 观天。坐井观天。如果一个人有狭隘的世界观，世界观 worldview 世界观，那么我可以说他好像坐井观天。是的。So let's see what. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. So that Chengyu is quite common. Yeah, 井底之蛙 and 坐井观天. Yeah, you can choose whichever one you want for your output, but you need to know both exist. There's probably other variants as well. All right, next is 偏见. All right, so we're getting onto some topics here, aren't we? 偏见, prejudice, bias. Okay, first of all, if you want to use a word like preference, you might be better off using 偏向. You often use 偏向于 or 倾向于 works as well. 偏向于我偏向于去青海北清西北. What is 清西北? I don't know. No, it's not 清, it is 滇. Okay, that makes more sense now. You could just say Yunnan. Yeah, Chinese provinces have abbreviations like this one. Yeah, I walk around and take photos of people's license plates. On the license plate, I'll see if I can show you one of my photos. On the license plate, without showing you everything. Okay, so here's an example. Yeah, this is Gan. Gan, I forget. I honestly forget which province is Gan. But yeah, this is what a Chinese license plate looks like. And I walk around, take photos of them. I'm trying to get them all. I haven't gotten in because Weihai, I live in Weihai, and Weihai is a tourist destination. So a lot of the cars here have, yeah, license plates like that, which is like, oh, okay. I got a, what was it, a Qing the other day, Qinghai, the Qing. It was kind of rare, so I'm like, oh, I have to take a photo. And people look at you strange and then kind of, oh, right. Okay, how did we get onto this topic? Oh, 偏向. 偏向. 偏向于去滇西北. So 西北 is the northwest of 滇meaning Yunnan. I want to go to Yunnan. I haven't been to Yunnan. It is quite a long way away though. That's the main issue. I need a proper excuse to go there. 偏向. 偏向 is, I won't go into all the details, but this is I prefer this kind of thing. 我偏向于 blah 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 blah. So this is the kind of neutral, not kind of racist or sexist or this sort of thing. You can use this for, I prefer pla. I'm inclined to pla. 偏见. 偏见 is a negative word. 偏见. 偏 means partial. Partial in the sense of incomplete. 偏见, do you see it? Anyway, where is incomplete then? This one? Qian can mean partial in the sense of incomplete. Partial. Or maybe this is just my usage. You use it in mathematics to mean like a partial blah blah blah, like a partially filled matrix, that sort of thing. This one, 注重一方. Okay, so maybe that usage in mathematics is not from Chinese language, but kind of imported from mathematical usages. So we'll put that aside. This one will be relevant. So 注重一方. So this is weighting heavily one side. So the emphasis is there's multiple options. This one, right? This one is the important one. 偏见 is a negative word. Yeah, 成见. I don't recall encountering that word. 局限于某一个方面的见解. Yeah, so your 见解, your point of view, your that, is limited to one side. 偏见. So prejudice, but bias as well. 偏见, bias. So yeah, things like, do you know the concept of outgroup homogenization? Homogenization, outgroup homogenization. So things like, if you're a guy, you'll think all women are a certain way because they're in your outgroup, and if you're a woman, you might think all guys are a certain way because they're in your outgroup. But a guy would think other guys are kind of nuanced and have personality, and like they would think, I don't know, say Donald Trump and Martin Luther King are two different people with totally different personalities, and you probably shouldn't clump them together. Maybe this is the outgroup homogenization effect, because sorry, I'm going to pause for a second. My browser has crashed. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Browser crashed. All right. Yeah, because you're not in the outgroup, you kind of feel like they're all the same. Whereas the equivalent group that you belong to, you think it's nuanced and so on. Even if it's very few people, if it's a massive number of people, like you think that we're just totally different people. Yeah, so this is the outgroup homogeneity effect. Yeah, so if you've gone to like a single-sex school or something, and then you've finished school, and you may have a very nuanced view of your own sex, and a less nuanced view of other sexes. Yeah. 偏见. So how did we get onto that? I have been known to go on a tangent here and then. So this is one example of how you might end up with a prejudice, because you just have more familiarity with groups you belong to by definition, right? 存有偏见，偏见比无知距离真理更远呢。Yeah, we saw this one before. It's a bit tricky to pass, isn't it? So here, 偏见 is used as the concept. So prejudice is even more distanced from the truth than ignorance. Yeah. Or maybe you would more naturally say something like, prejudice is further from the truth than ignorance. 抱有偏见，抛弃偏见, abandon your prejudices, forsake your prejudices, etc., etc. 种族偏见, racial prejudice or bias. Yeah, maybe bias is a better translation, because prejudice in English comes from like prejudgment, right? Prejudge this. Yeah, so you've decided, you've already kind of come to a conclusion about someone or something before really collecting the data or whatnot. Yeah, when I've traveled around the world, yeah, you get certain prejudices. I experience a lot, like white people stereotypes, right? 刻板印象. Like if you travel around the world, people will treat you as if white women are sexually promiscuous. 刻板印象. I've experienced that from time to time in quite a few countries. It's like, no. That's not me. I'm not especially interested, I'm afraid. Yeah. Anyway, 偏见. Yeah. So there's all sorts of 偏见. And some like quite harmful, and others are kind of more innocent. Maybe one of my 偏见 is I think of people from Belgium and Hong Kong. They know like 6 languages on average. That's my 偏见. So when I meet someone, oh, you're from Belgium, can you speak 6 languages? At first they look at me strange, and then they kind of mentally calculate, apparently I can. Sorry, I'm just going to make fun of people from Belgium right now. Same with Hong Kong. Yeah, let's be like 6 languages. Maybe Singapore as well. 阻挠. All right, let's move on. 阻挠. 阻挠. I kind of like this word 阻挠, meaning to thwart. 阻挠. I prefer the translation thwart. 我偏向于使用 thwart 翻译那个阻挠。为什么呢? I think it's just a bit more accurate. Thwart. You thwart someone's plans. Thwart 阻挠. 阻挠. They want to do something, but they're thwarted. 阻碍, 扰乱, 使不能顺利进行. Yeah, so you cause it to be unable to proceed smoothly. Okay, 再三阻挠和平进程. 再三, have we studied that? Maybe we haven't. It's just one of the many ways of saying repeatedly. Yeah, there's different grammar behind them, so I don't want to get into that right now. It will be in this textbook or the other textbook somewhere. 阻挠, verb. I think it must take an object, right? Or at least something must be thwarted. You can't just thwart, right? 阻挠案子的调查. So you deliberately put obstacles in the way of the investigation. Yeah. 阻挠和平的实现. Thwart the realization of peace. And this realization isn't, I come to a sudden realization. This realization is to realize something, to make it reality, right? So the realization of peace. So to actualize or to like let things come to a peaceful conclusion kind of thing. 阻挠. I don't think that's especially hard. No. Let's look at 挠. 阻 is used in a bunch of words, actually. 阻止. One of the many words meaning like prevent. 阻止. Yeah. 阻拦使停止. Yeah. 阻拦 is another one. 阻碍, 阻挠, oh, sorry, I got my terms wrong on this one. 阻拦? Really? Nah. Maybe I'm mixing it up with the 腐烂的烂. Okay, 腐烂的烂 is 4th tone, and 阻拦的拦 is 2nd tone. 阻拦的拦, 2nd tone. All right. Sometimes I get them wrong. 阻力, what is that? This is like resistance, is it? Like in the sense of physics? Resistance. Obstruction resistance. Resistive power. 劝阻, this is okay, so 劝说 dissuade 并阻止 prevent, dissuade and prevent, or maybe dissuade in order to prevent. 电阻, okay, so this is electrical resistance. Yeah, all right. And what is 挠? 阻挠 阻挠 挠头. So this is to scratch one's head, right? 挠. Why is it the same 挠? Okay, so in English you can say, oh, that's a real head scratcher. What it means is it's a 阻挠的问题, right? Not a 阻挠的, a 挠头的问题. So 挠头的问题就是 a real head scratcher. 这是一个让人挠头，这件事让人挠头 ，scratch their heads. How do I solve that? 急得我直挠头 ，scratch your head. All right. 不屈不挠，不屈不挠。No, I don't know what that means. Unyielding. 不屈不挠。All right. 不屈不挠。以指挠肺。No. No, I think 阻挠 is the most important one. 挠头 maybe just 挠 by itself. Just means scratch, right? 轻轻的抓，搔 yeah, 瘙痒 right? Yeah, 挠头。抓耳，挠，抓耳，然后挠腮。What is 挠? It's the same thing, right? What does it mean? Tweak one's ear and scratch one's cheeks. Anxious and happy. All right. Anyway, let's continue. 尊严. Yeah, so this is a noun, right? 尊严. So people have their 尊严. I think that's it. It's a dignity, honor. It is a noun. People have this. Yeah, so certain types of 尊严. You need to respect people's dignity and honor. 尊严. It is a noun. Here it says adjective. Let's have a look. 尊贵、庄严、庄重、威严. Yeah. When I see words like this, I'm like, okay. These concepts are kind of, you know, abstract, and we don't have easy correspondences with English words. 神情十分尊严. So this is dignified or something like that. Solemn, dignified in the sense of solemn. 尊严的, the coffin, is it? Gavel, tree. Okay, I don't know that. So it can function as an adjective as well. I've only ever encountered it as a noun. 崇高庄严的地位、身份、人格. So status, 身份 is your kind of like identity, but identity in the sense of like, how would you say, 身份, like who you are as a person. I'll just stick with identity for now, unless honorable position, dignity, status. Yeah, kind of statusy. 人格. Yeah, this is abstract as well, isn't it? Moral quality. 品行, 仁德, 气魄. All these totally abstract words, and they're all defined in terms of each other, so it's very, very hard to kind of untangle them. 真是个让人挠头的问题. All right, this one. 维护祖国的尊严. Yeah, so preserve 祖国 is the motherland. Presumably, if they're speaking Chinese, the motherland will be China. The dignity of the motherland. Could be another country though, if it was translated into Chinese. 法律的尊严. The sanctity of law. Sanctity kind of works here, isn't it? 国家尊严, national dignity. Yeah. A relatively rare word. you maybe... So we saw a country... Let's ask ChatGPT. A country can have 尊严. What else can have 尊严? Yeah, my browser crashed before, so let's try again. 尊严. What things can have 尊严? Go on. Like individuals. 每个人都应该有自己的尊严 Yeah, some kind of self-dignity. All right, that's pretty easy. 群体 a group can have 尊严一个民族的尊严民族this is like a democratic group, an ethnic group. Nationality. So if you're talking about a race, then it'll be 种族. So 民族 maybe is more gentle. 学校应该维护学生的尊严. So the school should preserve students' dignity. Yeah. 职业 okay. So this has dignity and fair enough. Like that's kind of generalized from people. Fair enough. 他在困境中依然保持着尊严. So she has 尊严. She maintained her 尊严 despite the predicament. Yeah, all right, let's continue. I think almost always it's a noun. But we should note, according to the dictionary, it can be used as an adjective. Okay, next is 理财. Yeah, this is pretty rare. There are other words like 大理 and 理, just 理 by itself. 理财. 对他人的言行表示态度和意见都用于否定. Yeah, so 不理睬. You don't pay attention. 不予理睬. 没人理睬这事. Yeah, no one cares. No one cares about this. 我向他打招呼，但他没理睬我. Yeah, so I think this could be both she didn't notice in the sense of she's not being rude, or it's like, I'm not talking to you, I am ignoring you as well. So I think both of those are possible. Yeah, this is not a top priority word, so let's not spend too long on it. We need to know it exists, and we need to know other variants exist, like 大理. Oh, 大理 defined as 理睬. Okay. 没人爱搭理他. No one likes to 搭理. Pay attention to him. I don't know. Acknowledge his existence. 理睬. You can also just say 理. So 不理. 不理. 不理不睬. Really? Take no notice. Okay, that's interesting. 见的人不理. Okay, if I see you, I'm going to ignore you. Just pretend you don't exist. 成天不理正事. Okay, so this is a generalized one. It's like not pay attention to. 我给他一个不理睬. 给他一个不理睬. I feel like I would not get away if I wrote that as a sentence. My teacher would be like, 理睬就是不是名词，是动词. But maybe if you're a native speaker, you can use verbs as nouns and get away with it. But I don't think I could pull that off. 你在胡说，我从此不理你，我不理你了。Yeah, 你在胡说. No, this 在 here represents a kind of if. If you again 胡说 is like talk nonsense. 胡说八道. 我从此我 hear from 我 from this point 不理你 not talk to you. If you utter any more nonsense, I will from here on out, maybe is a good translation. Here on out, not talk to you. 我不理你了. Yeah, maybe a little girl is angry at her father. 我不理你了. 我不理你了，你吃了我的巧克力。吃光了，这是我的巧克力。你干什么？你凭什么？ 吃我的巧克力. All right, next is more. Okay, this is one of the rare cases when this is not pronounced may. Usually it's pronounced may. This is more. You cannot pronounce it may. The other one is more show. I'm not sure. Maybe that's it. More show and yan more. Or maybe there's a few variants of these. More show meaning confiscate. Is there a relationship between those two words? I'm guessing there is. More. Yeah, more. May more. Oh, this is to ambush, is it? To cover up. Okay, no, cover up. More show. More. Oh, this is swallow up. Okay, so yan more is like submerged, drowned by water, usually water. More, yan more. That's a different writing style, right? And yan more, meaning to drown, right? Verb. 大水, 浸没, 浸没, sorry, 浸没. Submerge. Okay, 下千亩. Do you know 亩? I said 下, it should be 上千亩. Mu is a unit of area used for fields in Chinese, kind of like hectare or acres, this sort of thing. 良田. Okay, so the 良 just means good, right? 田 is fields. I think Tian we all learn very early on because our teachers are keen on teaching us Chinese characters, and Tian is quite an interesting character, right? You just, oh, okay. And then you find most of the characters are not really like that. Not as easy as that. 被洪水淹没. Okay, so this is submerged or covered by flood water. All right. 比喻声音等被掩盖. 掩盖 is first time, right? 掩. Oh, no. So this one is first tone. 淹没, but 掩盖. 掩 meaning to cover up, right? 掩盖 to cover up as well. Okay, so 淹没 and 掩盖, different tones. 他的喊声被涛声. Well, this is the first time I've encountered 涛 outside of A, male names, and B, 波涛汹涌的 words like that. Okay, so 涛声, it will be like roaring sound. 淹没了. Okay, so his 喊声, his shouting was drowned out by roaring sounds. Unspecific roaring sounds. 洪水淹没了农田，他的话被掌声淹没了。Okay, yeah, sometimes that happens. Okay, 掌声 is applause, right? Okay, you know what applause is. 掌声. Actually, it's the sound of applause, isn't it? All right, 淹没. Yeah. 河里涨水. 涨 meaning to swell or bulge, I guess, or increase. 涨水 rise in this case. 淹没了小桥. 桥 is bridge. So submerged a small bridge. Yeah, I had a video. There was a video, like, there was some crazy rain because of a typhoon. And yeah, one of my videos is like, what is Beijing like after 6 days of continuous rain? Everything was, water levels raised. 他的讲话被欢呼声淹没了. Okay, so his speech was drowned out by cheers. Yeah, all right. 房子被洪水淹没了. Inundated. Yeah, kind of drowned. It can also mean drown in the sense of, like, literally in water, right? A person died because of drowning, right? But where are all the examples? Okay, so how would how would you say many people on the Titanic drowned? Yeah, ChatGPT is going to use 许多 because ChatGPT likes 许多很多。泰坦尼克号上的游人遭淹没了，something like that. Many people on the Titanic drowned. Well, I suppose they weren't on the Titanic when they were drowning. Too soon? 泰坦尼克号上有很多人溺水身亡。Could you use 淹死 or maybe that's even better. 许多人在泰坦尼克号上淹死。Yeah, could 淹没 be I wonder if it often or seldom refers to people physically drowning. So it's more like submerged then, is it? To drown. It seems 淹没 is seldom used to literally mean physical drowning of e.g. a person.确实，淹没通常用于描述物体和地方被水覆盖，而不是具体指人溺水身亡。溺水。Okay, so 溺水 is a better word for, well, it's a bad word because you know my point. It's a better word from a language perspective. 溺水身亡的情况，在中文中淹没更多用于形容大面积的水覆盖现象，而不是用于描述个体的溺水死亡。溺水。All right, let's jot that down. 溺水。So we're 淹没。To drown. Yeah. I put here submerge. So what should I do? I'll just put it here. How do you write ni? Is it that? Something's wrong. Didn't. Ni. Shui. Sandian. That character looks awful, doesn't it? Ni shui. Technically correct. Ni. This one's a better choice for drowning. Like, yeah, I don't know, no, I don't really want to construct examples. Someone on the Titanic drowned. 溺水 shen wan. 溺水. All right. So 淹没 is better to overwhelm. So yeah. So 淹没 was good for this one, this farming being covered by water. So submerged. Submerge. Drowned, but only in a figurative sense. All right, this one. 溺水。他在游泳时不小心溺水了。I like the casual tone ChatGPT adds to this. All right. So, like, he died, right? 由于没有及时救援，很多人溺水身亡。Yeah. Okay. And 淹死. Yeah, 淹死 is better for. Yeah, actually, let's jot that down as well. 淹死. Let's put 淹死三点水大 店, right? 大店. Yeah. Just other words I should note. Oh, sorry. 淹死溺水. Okay, maybe 淹死 is better for someone drowned, like people on the Titanic. And 淹没, what about emotionally drowning? Could you drown in emotions? Can you drown in emotions using 淹没? 许多人淹死了, yeah. 溺水. What would you use for drowning in emotions? Maybe, I don't know, because that's figurative in English, right? It means overwhelmed by emotions. I don't care. Bei shang淹没. Okay, so overwhelmed with grief. 没法自拔. Do you know this phrase? This is a good one to use to make your writing seem more fluent and just nudge it up a bit. 无法自拔. 自拔, ba, meaning to extract. So you talk about 拔牙. Pull a tooth out, extract your tooth. 自拔, meaning to like self-extricate. You're in a bad situation, you're unable to get yourself out. 无法自拔. So maybe someone has a gambling addiction or something like that. There's 无法自拔. Yeah, they can't get out of their gambling addiction. 他失去爱人后，他被悲痛淹没, overwhelmed with the pain of grief. Yeah, grief is sorrowful, 悲痛。面对如此巨大的挑战，他感到被恐惧淹没。So he felt drowned by dread. I'm not sure how normal that is. So you can use it as drowned by overwhelmed, drowned in the sense of overwhelmed by emotions. All right, 须知, 下一个是须知. 须 is 必须. 知道, 必须知道. This is pretty straightforward. I only ever see it on, well, let's put in Google image search and you'll see 须知. I could probably just walk down the hallway and find 须知 on signage and like things like this, 须知. You'll see it in the elevator. If I go to the nearby elevator, there'll be 须知. They'll give you like a whole page of instructions on how to operate the elevator. And why is it so slow? 须知. What's going on? What if I just Google that? Yeah, there's no realistic chance of you actually reading the 须知. No one ever does. Unless you're like me and just want to practice your reading while you're waiting in the elevator. Or maybe you just like, you want to get reduce your screen time. So it's like, okay, I'll just look at that. And you don't want to make eye contact with random people. So yeah, 须知. You read the 须知. Come on. You see it on the top of notices and things like this. 须知. Oh, finally. 终于到了. Yeah. I don't know why it's so slow today. 预约须知. So 预约 will be an appointment. 须知. You need to know. Okay, 本店项目服务预约直线 okay. I don't know. This ben here, ben is yet another way of saying this. 本店, this shop, like it means the present shop or the shop in which this notice is in. 须知. 防疫须知. 防疫, 防 meaning to prevent, 疫 it pertains to the pandemic, so 防疫须知. So this is a notice, but pertaining to the pandemic. 高考须知. Yeah, so this will be a notice giving instructions for the 高考. So this is where you see 须知 on signage. So let's put 电梯. So this is an elevator. Yeah, this is a typical elevator in China. They have the 须知, which is like a book almost. Like, oh, I'll get on to reading that. It's so long. Yeah. If you actually stopped and read that, it would take like 10 minutes or something. 须知. Yeah, usually it says just common sense instructions. What do we got here? 注意脚和衣服不要靠近梯级边缘. Oh, okay, so 梯级 will be an escalator, right? So this is escalator rather than elevator. Anyway, you get the idea. 须知. 电梯安全乘坐须知. Oh, okay, so 电梯 is both the elevator and escalator, is it? Yeah, and so on. 须知. Usually it's a notice. Yeah, there's other words like 通告, is that right? 通告. 通告, you also see 通告. 通告. So yeah, this seems a little different to a 须知. Maybe 通告 is notice, and 须知 strictly means the things you must know, but yeah. 通告. Yeah. So if you go to my current elevator over there, there's a 通告. Yeah. So what happens is that the 物业 wants to fix the elevator, but there's sort of safety procedures they have to follow, and it's really, really slow. And this sort of thing. So there's always a dysfunctional elevator. All right. There's also 通缉. Do you know 通缉? This is the police one. Yeah, 通缉令. Oh, sorry, 通缉 is a 通缉 is a verb meaning to warrant the arrest of someone. So these people, the police want to arrest them. And 通缉令 is an arrest warrant order. Maybe just arrest warrant. 陈念强. Okay, so they want to arrest 陈念强. All right, you get the idea. Maybe I shouldn't do this because these are perhaps like genuinely criminals. I don't know if there's an arrest warrant for 陈念强. Maybe it's not good to talk about him too much publicly. All right, 抹杀. Yeah, obliterate. Write off, obliterate. Yeah, 抹杀. Yeah, this is kind of like wipe out entirely or something like that, right? 抹杀. Blot out, obliterate. Okay, 对客观事实不予承认. That's not exactly what I was thinking. 工作虽有缺点，但成绩是抹杀不了. Yeah, this is the most common example I encounter, actually. I should have 抹杀不了, unable to be wiped out. So you talk about historical facts or, like in this case, achievements or whatever. You can't kind of wipe them from history books. Yeah, 抹杀成绩. So wipe out accomplishments. 一笔抹杀. Oh, okay, so 一笔 is like with the stroke of a pen. Nope, doesn't count. And there's this writing as well. Sha. So from what I understand, this sha also means kill. So I think that's not 100% sure. It's just kind of almost like a variant character. I'm not sure. You can figure that out. I'm not going to do it while on the video. 历史事实是抹杀不了的. Yeah, this is the common collocation you get. 这些成绩是不能一笔抹杀了. These achievements cannot be gainsaid. What is gainsaid? Cannot be wiped out with the stroke of a pen. Yeah. Okay. So 抹杀. So the scope seems to be very narrow. Let's chat with ChatGPT. So what things can be more sha? The scope of this word seems very narrow. Yeah, I think it is very narrow. More sha, you wipe out, like, or nullify in its entirety someone's achievements or like historical record or this sort of thing. Or you wipe out the blemishes, maybe. All right, just answer the question. I don't care which model you use. OK, 你是对的，谢谢。抹杀这个词确实有一个比较特定的使用范围，通常用来描述、消除、削弱的或否定某种存在或影响的力量。Okay. There's too many hordes in here. Horde. So weaken or deny. No, these come together. So cancel out, weaken or deny some kind of existence or influence, some kind of 力量, the power of the existence or influence of something. 以下是一些可以被抹杀的事物或情况的例子。法庭上的关键证据被抹杀了。Oh, okay, so this is like stricken from the record. So the key evidence has been stricken from the record, right? To expunge, to obliterate evidence. Obliterate. I think it's called stricken, right? Stricken or invalidated. 历史上的某些重要事件被试图谋杀. Sorry, I don't say this word often. 谋杀. Sorry, I got it wrong quite a few times. 谋杀. All right. So 被试图谋杀. Okay, so there has been an attempt to erase historical events. Yeah, a lot of countries, a lot of people like to erase their more embarrassing elements of their country's history. Australia has a few pretty shameful events, such as the Stolen Generation. And if you ask like old gay people in Australia, they'll tell you about police raids back in the 70s. That sort of thing. There's some pretty shameful things in there as well. Things like immigration scandals and so on. But I think Australia on the whole is doing okay compared to some other countries. Its blemishes are not I mean, its blemishes are considerable, are not something that should be more wiped out. we should learn from them. But yeah, I feel like we're not, or Australians are not trying to commit these atrocities, trying to at least do the right thing. 媒体报道试图谋杀抹杀他的良好形象 ，so blot out his favorable image. Yeah, yeah. So this is like 抹黑. Do you know the name? Do you know the word 抹黑? 抹黑. Oh, so it's the same 抹. Okay, so 抹黑. So more, what is more by itself? Smear. Oh, 涂抹, paint, smear. Okay, so this more is smear. So 抹黑. So it's smear and to cause it to go black. So you often talk about 抹黑你的荣誉, is it 荣誉? 声誉抹黑 let's see what examples here. 抹黑行动非常成功抹黑对手 Okay, so your 对手 is your opponent. So you're trying to like discredit your opponent. Usually it's like somewhat what's the word? 不择手段 unscrupulous. You use underhanded tactics to discredit your opponent. They're right, and you can't argue against them rationally. So you try to discredit them. Ideally, you discredit them before they say anything. This is why I hate debates. I come from science background. We don't care how long it takes. We don't care how good your argumentation skills are. We want to know what is actually true. We want evidence. And we'll sit there and weigh up the evidence. Yeah. But when it comes to politics, it's about your debating skills and things like this. And all these tactics. And I don't like it. 男子两眼一抹黑 No, this is different, is it? This is black out. Okay, 抹黑. So this is to 抹黑. So there is another usage in 抹黑. This is like to slander or something, or at least like you're emphasizing negative traits of something to make people think negatively of them. Particularly politicians in the USA, they do that a lot. Always trying to make you think negatively of their opponent. Yeah. In Australia, yeah, they do it too. It's like no matter what a politician says, their opponent will say the absolute opposite. And you get just so used to it. It's like, oh, all right, so why bother speaking? I already know what you're going to say. You're just going to say not whatever. Just negate whatever the current politician says. This is like a yes or no question on the exam. You just, okay, if the correct answer is yes, you write no. And vice versa. It's not random. It's just, oh, okay, I can negate what he says myself. I don't need you to do it for me. Discredited. All right. So 抹杀 is kind of a similar concept then. So it's to blot out. So to smear and cause it to be killed in a figurative sense, to blot out. 抹杀了实体性外观 what? 外观 the external appearance, the outward appearance of 实体性 here is solidarity. 实体 is a solid body in physics. This feels a little translated to me. Is that really the best translation? 学校体制是设计来抹杀人的激情的. So blot out people's 激情 enthusiasm. Yeah, that's a pretty pessimistic attitude. Yeah, I've had teachers at school. Some were very positive and some were kind of shut up and do what you're told kind of thing. Obviously, whenever you talk to people and you ask them why they don't like maths, it's almost always because the last teacher they had was a bad teacher. And I'm pretty sure that generalizes not just for maths, but like any academic subject. The reason they don't want to do it is because the last teacher they had was a bad teacher. Most of the time it's like that. So, 磨杀, more meaning smear, and 杀 meaning to cause to no longer exist. So kill in that sense. 磨杀. All right, next is 岁月. 岁月 years time. Okay, so 岁 you know from 你几岁了? 我8岁了. 真的假的? 月 月 meaning moon, but also meaning month. 一个月 2个月的时间. 岁月 yeah, I seldom encounter this. 岁月 usually it's like 岁月的推移 or something like this, a lapse of time. What is that? What is that? 峥嵘岁月峥嵘峥嵘岁月 Whoa, what are some wacky characters there? All right. Let's skip that one. 岁月不恼人, is that right? 不恼人, 不饶人. Oh, this 饶 is 饶恕. Okay, so 岁月不饶人 means time forgives nobody. So I'm thinking of two possible interpretations. One is that everyone dies, or two is that like if you commit a bad deed, sooner or later you will get your comeuppance. Time and tide wait for no man. That's different. Just yeah, you need to strike while the iron's hot kind of thing. Anyway, 难忘的岁月. Yeah, so this refers to a period of time, kind of like yesteryear in English. Yesteryear. Yeah, a period of time of the order of months or years. So 岁 can mean years, so maybe that's what it means here. Yeah. So here it's 难忘的. So 难忘 is quite literally hard to forget. Yeah, 难忘的 unforgettable years. 岁月不我待. Yeah, this one might be a better translation. Wait for no man. 岁月流逝, 流逝 meaning elapse. 流逝, sorry, 流逝. 岁月流逝. Time elapses. Yeah, I feel like because 岁月 is like years and months, 流逝 elapse. It's like, oh, they just go by quickly. 岁月. So it's a noun meaning, yeah, 年月. This is another one, right? Like you make a mental note that these words exist, but you've studied 年 and you've studied 月, possibly in one of your first ever Chinese classes. And then someone comes along with 年月 or 岁月, 岁月. Yeah, they're relatively rare, usually used in kind of figurative senses. 泛指时间, so broadly refers to time, usually on the order of years and months, not like millennia, and not like nanoseconds. Like of the order of human lifespans. And it's like 一眨眼, 所以上次写一眨眼，我半个生活就流逝了。Half my life has flown by. It happens. Yeah, I remember when I was young, all the old folks would say, "Oh, you young people don't understand." You know. And then you get to this age and like, whoa, in the blink of an eye, yeah. Suddenly you're old. Okay, next, 沉淀,沉淀. Verb and a noun. 淀 kind of is sediment. You see 淀 in 粉淀, starch, right? 粉淀. 粉淀. Sorry, where is it? Am I wrong? I'll just put in starch. Oh, sorry, I am wrong. 淀粉,淀粉, starch, 淀粉. So, that one? 淀粉, starch. So how does 淀 relate here? It's not in the definition. 碳水化合物是农作物的籽粒或块根块茎中所含的重要成分。Well, I didn't explain why it's called that. 淀. So this is form, sediment, precipitate. This is a verb. Okay. Oh, verb here, noun here. So we'll think of it as kind of both. 较浅的湖泊. Wait, what's that got to do with anything? A relatively shallow lake. So, okay, 白洋淀, 海淀. So in Beijing, there's 海淀区. 海淀区 has a lot of famous universities, such as 北京大学, 清华大学, 人民大学, etc., etc. Yeah, there's quite a few. That's kind of university town. On the west side of Beijing, yeah, people on the west side go to universities. 地名在北京, yeah, 海淀. Did I live there? Maybe. I don't know. I think I lived in Dongcheng. Oh, I think I did temporarily live in 海淀区. Okay, so 淀 here refers to this shallow lake. So 海淀的淀, it's the same character, but it's a different meaning. This 淀is a verb meaning to precipitate or to form a sediment. That's something. 液体中 in a liquid 没有溶解的物质. It did not dissolve. A substance which does not dissolve. 沉到液体底层. Got it? You have a liquid. There's some kind of solute. If I remember correctly, it's called solute. You put the solute in the liquid. It does not dissolve and instead sinks to the bottom. Yeah, 沉淀. 沉淀. So, what are we studying? Oh, we're studying 沉淀. 沉淀 is, yeah. Or 沉,下沉, sink. So 沉淀, I guess, is just a two-character version of it. Sediment and to precipitate, to kind of sink down to the bottom and kind of form a layer in itself. Okay, 淀粉. So 淀粉 is that one. I don't know why. Why is that 淀? What was I going to do? I forget. 沉淀, 淀粉, 海淀, 积淀. Oh, that's another one. 积淀. So accumulate sediment. 积淀. Oh, this will be a noun. This is the accumulated sediment. Oh, I wanted to look at sedimentary rock. Can I use voice input? I don't know how to do that. Sedimentary rock. It worked. 沉积岩, 沉积岩, 沉 meaning to sink, 积 accumulate, 岩. So sink, accumulate rock is sedimentary rock. Okay, so they don't use 岩 here. All right, fair enough. Oh, we're done. What is this? 题目, 磨难. These are words in the text. Actually, let's have a look. Let's not get lazy. What is 题目? 题目. What is 题目? Okay, so there's 领悟. 领悟 meaning to comprehend, but this kind of comprehension is from 体会. So like personal experience. So you're learning through experience. 体会领悟. So you understand something through experience. Okay, 体悟其中道理. So learn through experience this 道理, like lesson. Yeah, sometimes it's better to learn through experience. 体悟其中道理. Yeah. All right, and what's the other one I jotted down here? 磨难, is that right? Or 磨难? More nan. Okay, so nan is fourth tone. More nan. 折磨和苦难. All right, so it's just using words flexibly. Yet another way of saying 困难, this kind of thing. 遭受磨难. Yeah. In your reading, you kind of experience this kind of thing. Like you're just reading along and you'll encounter a word like 磨难 and you'll be like, oh, what's that mean? And if you're reading a novel or something like this, you will just infer it from context, not just the context of the story, but also the characters and the grammar and so on. So from the grammar, you'll infer it's part of speech, how it's used. And from the context, you'll kind of infer its meaning or its semantics. And from the characters, you often can infer like what it pertains to. So 磨难. So 磨, 折磨的磨, like torture or struggle or this sort of thing. Torment. Yeah, that's a better one. Torment. And nan. Nan is also kind of a disaster, usually like a situation that's unfavorable. Nan, suffering, misery, distress. Yeah. So even if you don't know this word, you kind of can infer it a lot of the time. And yeah, once you get to improve your reading speed, you need to kind of do that automatically. You just kind of, you don't even realize you're reading these words you don't even know. Yeah, but you get used to it because this is how I kind of see things. I'll show you, draw you a diagram. Like when you're early on, you kind of learn a word here and a word there and a word there and a word there and a word there. And they're all kind of far apart. But when you learn more and more words, it's not like there's new concepts being invented every day and this sort of thing. There's not all these new concepts. There's just, the words get denser and denser. This is where all the new words come from. And so you learn a word here, and you kind of feel like you didn't really learn a new word because it's so close to all these other words. Right? Do you get my idea there? So when you get to enough vocabulary, you kind of don't feel like you're learning words, even kind of like this sort of thing. 磨难. It's like, oh, all right, I just make a vague mental note it exists. I got plenty of other words I can use in my output, and it's just so close to other words. And yeah, if I see it in my input, you can kind of just figure it out pretty quick. Near instantaneous. Yeah. Yeah, well, one of the hard things to do is define what a word is in Chinese. Things like 你们. Is 你们 a word? Is 你好 a word? There's so many suffixes and like things you just edit a word. Also very hard to say what a chungyu is as well. Anyway, let's call it a video. Thank you for watching. Remember to 点赞. I don't know, leave any useful comments, useful, friendly, I don't know, or just fun comments. Feel free to like leave example sentences like, oh, I'm studying this word. I found this really cool example sentence. And that's it. That's it for the vocabulary for this chapter. I'm going to have a little bit of a rest, and I'll see you in the next video and we can do the reading practice and so on. 谢谢大家，我们下次聊，拜拜。